welcome to another episode of The Good Life. Thank you for stopping by. Oh, sorry.
Attack on
Sorry,
Show.
I'm just so used to.
Man.
I'm so used to that verbiage.
Always
We are
taken.
here for Attack on Show. I'm Patrick Harney,
I'm Rob E.
and today we got a great lineup of content for you. Rob, what are we going to be talking about?
We're going to kick things off with News Attack.
Yes, we are.
A look at today's headlines, but attacker style.
Boom.
Love it. And then Extreme It.
Yep.
You got to do the Wonder Woman.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Extreme It.
That's not next on the list.
No. But we're going to take a look at The Rock and Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot's Red Notice, currently on Netflix.
Is it Gal Gadot or Gal Gadot? I've heard many.
Both work? Wonder Woman.
Gal Gadot.
Why we did the Wonder Woman.
Gal Gadot.
No, we've done that always.
That's not Wonder Woman. Well, she does this when she blocks, but
Yes.
this is like
That's
Black Panther.
I'm going to do an effect there. And then we're going to take a look at Binge Worthy of Peacock's new Saved by the Bell.
I'm very excited to talk about this.
Yes. I think I know where you're going to go with it, but I think there's a great discussion to have about this show, so I'm really excited to take a look at it with you, Patrick, and our viewers to comment after they see this.
Yep.
And then, of course, I Miss My MTV.
Yes, I Miss My MTV. We're going to be talking about the song 5 More Minutes by War and Treaty.
Words never said on Attack on Show. Please give me 5 more minutes.
True.
Make sure you click like and subscribe. There's also a
A
bell.
notification button
Oh,
so
yeah.
you can be alerted when a new episode is coming out. Also, make sure to share this episode with all of your friends.
Yes, tell everybody.
Tell
Are you
your
ready to
friends.
kick it over to the cool new intro we've got?
Yeah, I am.
All right, are you ready for some news attack?
I'm ready for some news attack.
Machine Gun Kelly and Megan Fox announced their engagement a couple days ago, and they followed that up with the two of them drinking each other's blood. And if this was a story that you're interested in, I'd like to enter this into Exhibit A of the new study, which found people who follow celebrities are less intelligent.
Oh! Bang. Didn't Angelina Jolie and Billy Bob Thornton carry around a vial of each other's blood and
They
a
did.
necklace?
So gross.
So this isn't even original.
No.
Come on.
Come on, Megan Fox, Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah.
Pick it up.
It was announced that A Christmas Story is getting a true sequel, not the crappy A Christmas Story 2 that they tried years ago. A true sequel where Ralphie is coming back as an adult. My question is, I wonder if Flick is going to be reprising his role. Because if so, I mean, what a resume. The man's got pornos and A Christmas Story on his resume.
What kind of Christmas present is he gonna
That's
have?
what I'm saying.
Oh, I love it. That actually might be successful.
Right?
I do like it. M&M's is said to be changing its characters to become more inclusive. For instance, the green M&M, who previously was seen wearing seductive heels and strutting her stuff in white go-go boots, she's now going to sport a pair of sneakers. No word yet on if they're going to add the transgender M&M who will identify as a Skittle. You gotta have
Is that the one that you did? Oh, I love that you did that. It was announced that Andrew Garfield is getting The Amazing Spider-Man 3. He's getting it. Now, there's been talks that Tom Hardy's Venom might be showing up in this universe. I wonder if Tobey Maguire is kind of pissed that he got gypped because he had Topher Grace as his Venom. It was bad.
That was rough. Due to the low box office turnout of The Matrix Resurrection, producers have recently announced that there are not going to be any more sequels. Many people blame this because it was released simultaneously on HBO Max, which caused the low box office turnout. No one taking account that it was a complete pile of shit. Terrible film. If you make a bad movie, you don't deserve a sequel. Just because of the title, you're not going to get a sequel. I'm sorry, but that movie was awful. Just terrible.
Yeah. Everyone is upset about the crew in Boba Fett with their retro speeders, right?
The Vespas.
See, I don't know why everybody's upset. I think Star Wars is just trying to get into this multiverse thing like everyone else, so they're just trying to bring the Power Rangers into Star Wars.
I love it. Sonic.
Go Power Rangers!
It's hilarious. Yeah, Boba Fett's been kind of a letdown this season. I don't know. It's no
Yeah.
Mando, that's for
No,
sure.
it's definitely not a Mando.
Ugh.
The actor for Boba Fett is atrocious.
Yeah, he's not very good.
Anyhow, that's all we got for a news attack.
That is News Attack.
So, we hope you enjoyed it. Leave down in the comments which one was your favorite.
Ooh, we're going to pit us against each other.
Yeah.
I like it. You want to do Extreme It or Binge Worthy?
What?
Extreme It or Binge Worthy? What do you have for next?
Let's do Extringe-worthy.
Listen up now. This is serious.
I was just wondering,
Since Patrick's awful dad joke, we decided to go with Binge Worthy. And we're taking a look at the newly vamped Peacock's original Saved by the Bell. Not the new generation, not the show that came out years ago after Saved by the Bell ended, but this is now a new continuation of Saved by the Bell. There's 2 seasons currently on Peacock. And I am very excited to announce, if you haven't seen it yet, all of the originals do appear in the series. They're all grown up now. This is actually, there's a few of their children, and it's following them in school while mixing in the original characters. With that being said, there's really not much more about the plot to worry about at this point. I did ask Patrick to review the show because I think there's going to be a great conversation to be had about this. I am curious. I'm guessing you probably didn't even get through the first season.
No.
But I'd be curious of your thoughts. I almost should have forced you to watch it now because this would have been part of the experiment. But what were your thoughts on this series?
I thought it's an absolute dumpster fire of a series. It shouldn't have been rebooted. And it's not like there's the idea of, or there's the thought of, okay, movies back in the 80s, or not movies, shows back in the 80s and the 90s, they were cheesy. But that was kind of their gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's how all of them were.
Yes.
That's how a lot of TV back then was. It was kind of cheesy, but it was feel good. It made you feel good. This, however, my problem with it is how it couldn't decide. I know they were kind of trying to make a joke about how cheesy they were.
Damn, I love magic!
hey, Max, actually, I ordered cheese on mine.
Take a look in your pocket.
Does this place ever stop being weird?
But, like, have the acting be better. It was, like, the acting is atrocious. And, like, I'm sorry, like, Mario Lopez, stick to your daytime, like, interview shows and stuff, bro. And Elizabeth, was it Berkley? Is that her name?
Elizabeth Berkley.
Don't,
Jesse.
Don't anymore. I'm sorry, but, like, I don't know. And to me, this show was, like, super, it was just super woke. They really got into the woke
I've
stuff.
seen that complaint by a lot of people about that.
And I just, like, to me, when you get to that point, it's like you're just pandering to what you think the social climate is. Nobody cares to see the woke stuff anymore. And a good example of that is like Marvel's Eternals and Spider-Man. Everybody blamed Eternals not doing well on COVID. No, it's because Spider-Man crushed the crap out of it. There was no woke stuff in Spider-Man. There was a bunch of woke stuff in Eternals. And like, I'm not saying that representation doesn't matter or anything like that. Like, it does. But when it almost seems like you're trying to like check off boxes, you know, to like, come on, just make a damn show and entertain people. You know what I mean?
That's me eating your booze. It feeds me, you.
I thought whoever played the principal, John Michael something, he's awesome.
He's
I love
always
him.
great.
I love him in everything he did.
I don't care about your dad, Spencer. I just care about Zach and Kelly.
And so like he's always been great, but like I couldn't get behind it.
How many did you get?
I only got like 3 episodes.
All right, we gotta make a deal. We gotta force each other to watch it more than that. Let me ask you a question though,
hard.
because there is an age difference between the two of us. Did you grow up watching Saved by the Bell?
I watched some of it.
Okay.
I watched some of it. And
This is why I wanted to have this conversation. I don't think this new Saved by the Bell is going to resonate with new fans. Like, I do not think this show is going to bring anybody in to start watching Saved by the Bell. I do think, because I grew up watching Saved by the Bell from the days of Mornings with Miss Bliss, and then it switched to Saved by the Bell, and I've watched Zach and Slater and Kelly. I watched them all grow up. Every movie, every special series, even the college years, I watched every single episode. The wedding episode, when they were, the Hawaii special. I grew up watching everything Saved by the Bell. With that said, I think this is a fantastic sequel series, and the only reason I think it resonates difference between original fans and people who didn't grow up with that type of connection. Because the original Saved by the Bell was terrible acting. It was awful. It was always awful. Mr. Belding was a terrible actor. Screech was a terrible actor. Slater was it was always bad acting. The show was always terrible.
Jesse, are you all right? Great, wonderful, terrific. Check this out. The square of the hypotenuse of a right triangle is equal to the sums of the square of the other two sides, baby!
But they owned that.
No, I don't think as much then. And this is where I get into appreciating the new series, is that back then watching it in real time, they weren't owning it. Like, they weren't making fun of themselves. I think, like, they were making a legit series. They knew it was kid-friendly, but, like, they weren't making it campy on purpose. So what resonates with this new series for me is I think the creators in that are true, like, grow-up fans of the original series. And they are just now making this like a campy mockumentary on the original series.
You look amazing and your hair's fire.
I watched this with my daughter, who didn't grow up on Saved by the Bell. The problem I think with this series is 50% of the jokes I was laughing at, and she would look at me and say, why are you laughing? Because they were making a joke about the original series that was so, like, to me, clever, it goes over new viewers' heads.
When I was in high school, I constantly used to fight with my best friend over a hot girl. I was actually your dad. Over your mom. Anyway, look, then I just found another girl that I really liked, and I started hooking up with her instead. Wait, that was your mom?
That type of humor cracked me up watching Saved by the Bell, where I knew they were making fun of the original Saved by the Bell. And I think for people who didn't grow up watching it with that type of connection, I think this show's kind of doing a disservice, because so much of the humor falls on that level. The new generation's not picking up on it.
Trying to go back to the time when we were all best friends!
I do find it funny. To me, I am happy to get, like, it's not even closure. I am happy to see the original characters and where they've gone. I even think it's funny, like, they even tied, like, in season 2, they tie in Showgirls for Jesse's backstory. And it's really funny the way they tie it in. So I do love, for me, one of the highlights of the series is I do love that the original actors are all tied to it, and that they understand they are part of the joke, and they're having fun with it. Like, the show is not taking itself seriously. They know the old show was not a serious show, even though back then I think it was, like, they did try and tackle important issues back then, serious issues with, like, the coffee pill addiction, or they did try and send message, like, it tried to be a serious show back in the day, and now I think they, in retrospect, are looking at, like, that show was ridiculous, and they're making fun of it.
Oh my God, that's true.
It just was great to see these characters and revisit them so many years later and see where they are today. And then I will say, after season 1, season 2 you do get more of the originals in season 2. Like, they do bring all the characters into it a little more. They even do a nice little tribute to Screech, because he passed away.
To Screech.
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 So it was nice that they paid tribute to him. But I'm going to say watch if you're an original Saved by the Bell fan. If you're, you grew up watching the series, you love the characters, you had that connection with them, I think the show is going to be great. I do have to agree with Patrick. I don't know that the show is doing a good enough job to bring new viewers in that don't have that connection. But I will say watch, because I was laughing quite a bit.
I will say pass. If you're a new viewer, I think if you grew up with it, give it a shot, because there's nothing better than that nostalgic feeling of seeing a show when you were a kid. I get that. I understand that. But if you're a new viewer that didn't really watch much Saved by the Bell, you won't know what the hell's going on, and it won't be funny. So
I have to agree.
So I would say, for me, I would say pass.
Nice, awesome. See, I was glad to have this discussion, because I was real curious how the generation
Yeah.
would view it. So that's why I
was a
really
good-
threw
that
that
was a
up
good
there.
choice. That was a good choice.
Are we ready for some Extreme It?
I think we're ready for Extreme It.
Extreme It. Yeah, we're taking a look at Netflix's original. Patrick just realized a $200 million budget for this film.
Oh, what the
This is an action heist film, obviously, where The Rock plays The Rock, Ryan Reynolds plays Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot plays Gal Gadot, as if they were thieves, though.
Yep. Yeah.
I'll let you start. You watched the film?
I did watch the film. Didn't do well in the critics' eyes. It's a fun movie. It's a fun, like, popcorn movie where it's like, it's funny. There's good moments of action in it. It's not, definitely shouldn't have been $200 million budget-wise, but it was a good movie. But
I think the cast, though, you almost have to. Like those three are A-listers that are gonna.
True. It
demand some
was
money.
The Rock, because he also produced as well on it. Yeah. Basically, what it's about is The Rock plays this this agent who is trying to find the world's greatest art thief, which is Gal Gadot or Gal Gadot, however you want to say it. Ryan Reynolds is the second.
Or first, if you ask him.
Or first if you ask him, but he is the second best art thief in the world. And so The Rock tries to get Ryan Reynolds to help him find.
Well, The
her.
Rock gets set up, right? He gets set up and thrown in prison with Ryan Reynolds. So then they have to
That's true.
team
They
up.
had to team up. Yeah, it's one of those movies. I wouldn't watch it again, but I'm glad I watched it because it was enjoyable. I enjoyed myself when I was watching it. Cinematically, I thought it was great. Some of the locations that they were at was awesome. Like they really traveled the world. And
Yeah.
that was really cool because I feel like films don't do that anymore.
Right.
Because it's all CGI. This made me feel like they really traveled the world, and that was cool.
No, that's a great point. They did the location base for the film was very cool on how, like you said, that was authentic and traveled around. I made it just over halfway in the film and had to turn it off. I did have intentions on going back to watch it. I want to say I didn't turn it off because I hated it. It just was getting late. But because of that, how I felt about the movie at the time to turn it off, I haven't had that urge yet to go and finish it. My biggest issue with watching this movie, it's kind of like lessons of the past I wish people would learn. Ryan Reynolds, I love you. I love Ryan Reynolds. Deadpool is my favorite Marvel superhero films. Like, I think they're fantastic. The sad part is, I think Ryan Reynolds, I think the scary part, I should say, is he is saturating the market with Deadpool in every film. Like, every character he is playing is what Deadpool is. He is the exact same in this.
Whose balls did I have to fondle to get my very own movie?
You want to get out and compare, or should we maybe think about going?
You need to seriously ease up on the bedazzling. They're jeans, not a chandelier. His ass exploded 4 bags of heroin in the backseat of my car last week. Those aren't leather seats. Those are cloth.
I've never said this, but don't swallow.
Remember what I told you in Rwanda?
Still burns?
No, the other thing.
Stop watching me sleep.
My concern is that Ryan Reynolds' career started with a bang. He then ran into a slump because I think people got kind of tired of him doing the same thing. So he kind of went away for a little bit. His relaunch was Deadpool.
Oh, hello.
And people found him funny again. And I fear, and I don't know if this has anything to do with his recent decision, because he said he's going to step away from film for a little bit. He's saying to spend time with his child, his family.
Good for him.
But I also think great career choice, because my fear is there is not going to be anything unique about Deadpool that you're going to need to go, that you're going to want to go to the theater and see that type of humor, because you've got a Ryan Reynolds movie coming out like every year with that same style of humor. There's nothing unique now to go see other than Deadpool Doesn't Die, but it is the exact same comedy shtick in every single one of his movies. And I fear, like, you got a second chance, and now you're drowning the market with the exact same thing, nothing's gonna make Deadpool special, which I'm afraid of. Like
That's a really good point.
I love Deadpool. I want Deadpool 3. I want Deadpool in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I don't want people tired of Ryan Reynolds. And I wanted to turn it off because I want to preserve my Ryan Reynolds time for Deadpool 3. I want to wait for Deadpool to come out. I don't want to just watch him say these jokes constantly as every character that he plays.
There's been murmurs that Deadpool's going to show up in Doctor Strange.
Or if you check out Attack on Show's shorts, there's a great ending to Endgame, Avengers Endgame, that I think everybody would have been happy to see.
Yeah.
Is that everyone?
But you wanted more?
That's why I brought him.
It's blowing up Instagram right now, so you might want to check it out.
But, so here's my thing. Ryan Reynolds, I agree with your point. Ryan Reynolds is a really good actor when he wants to be.
Yes.
If you watch the movie Safe House with Denzel, Denzel Washington, he is phenomenal in that movie. He has his comedic moments, but he is so good at the drama in that movie.
Oh, he's an amazing actor.
I don't know. I think that he sticks to what he knows, and he does well with that.
Buried was one I wanted to bring up to show his amazing acting, where he's stuck in the casket buried underground. Like
I never saw that one.
He is a great actor, but by the time he got the Blade Trinity, everyone was tired of it, and he kind of disappeared for a while.
He was also in the movie Life. Do you remember that movie? With Jake Gyllenhaal. Who else? I think it was Rebecca Ferguson. They were in space. And he was in it. He's third billed, which I was like, he's third billed behind Rebecca Ferguson. And then you find out he's in it. He's only in it for like the first maybe 20 minutes.
Oh, wow.
But he was good in that movie.
Yeah.
He was one of the best parts of that movie.
I think that's something that...
It's like, dude, like, you can do more.
Right. So change it up a little more.
So freaking change it up.
Yes. Don't deplete the Deadpool character.
Yeah, because that's what he's doing. He's sticking to what... And I love Ryan Reynolds. I'm not trying to dog him. But he with the success that he had with Deadpool, he thinks he needs to do the same thing because with other movies because that's what people want to see. But it's like they want to see Deadpool.
As Deadpool.
As Deadpool.
Yes.
Oh, I'm touching myself tonight.
So it's currently streaming on Netflix. Again, a $200 million budget, which I don't know how Netflix makes money on these things. I did learn something recently. I listened to a Ben Affleck podcast where he was talking on Howard Stern. It's interesting, these budgets, because you start looking at these budgets and you're like, people already subscribe. How does Netflix, fork out $200 million for a movie? And it's all a stock market game now. The idea that Netflix can announce a movie with these actors, their stock goes up. So they will front the cash to make these movies because their stock will increase. That's where they're getting their returns. It was interesting. I never thought of it in that aspect. Ben Affleck does break it down on his most recent interview with Howard Stern. It's actually a really good interview. But it was enlightening to learn that because I kept wondering The Irishman, that was a $200 million project. Like, how are they paying for this? So it's interesting to break that down. But apparently, their stocks must have increased enough. Like I said earlier, you're going to get 2 more Red Notices. What Red Notices is?
But you also got to think, Red Notice, sigh. but you also got to think, too, that Netflix keeps raising their prices. They're going to be raising their price again to $17.95 a month.
Just went up.
And you got to think, look how many millions of people pay that every month.
Right.
They're not hurting for cash.
I think it's time for Blockbuster to make a return.
I think so too.
But I'm going to say pass. I might still finish it, but if I don't, I'm not going to miss it. Like, it's not on my radar to have to hurry back to.
I'm gonna say watch because it's fun. You'll get some laughs. You'll see some cool action. Don't expect your mind to be blown. But if you want a night where you can just sit back and enjoy some entertainment, honestly, I think this is one that you can rely on.
I like it.
Yeah.
You want to get to some music?
Oh, let's get to some music. It's a good one, baby. It's a good one.
All right. I miss my MTV. Patrick, this is your pick.
Yes, we got a song called 5 More Minutes by The War and Treaty. I'm not going to say anything else.
How'd you hear of them? I think that's important.
Oh,
Who
okay.
introduced you
Okay.
to these guys?
Well, my very special lady, Taylor, who's over yonder.
You're probably hearing her.
She introduced me to this song, and she's introduced me to a lot of good music, and this is some good like soul music. And that's it.
You're gonna play it.
Play.
Nice.
That's a great song.
Like it.
Those voices.
Oh, on point.
Take me to church.
Oh, asking 5 more minutes for love. That's a big task.
Or a little task.
No, man, total throwback. I love the style, the video
Yeah.
style of it, the throwback. I also kind of like the simplicity of the video to then focus on the talents. That's very cool. I like it.
Yep.
Good find, Patrick.
Thank you.
I hope you
But
guys think it's a good find.
I can't take credit for it. That was all my
Oh.
lady who showed it to me, so that's on her.
Her last name is Taylor. Her first name is My Lady. Just so if you guys are confused when Patrick always talks about her.
I always say my lady. Taylor Morgan. That's who it is.
If you haven't by now, make sure you click like and subscribe.
Hit the notification button so you can be alerted when a new episode comes out. Also, make sure to comment and share.
Yes, we want to know if you checked out any of the shows. If you agree or disagree with any of our opinions, we'd love to interact with you guys.
Yeah.
It's been fun so far. You can follow us on all social media platforms at Attack on Show, one word.
Yes, you can.
As always, I'm Rob E.
I'm Patrick Harney.
And this is
Attack on Show.